along at speed at 70 miles an hour, Toby decided that she was going to point out to the side of us off of the freeway an amusement park. And I'm driving along, and she points out the driver's window, and she says, "Look, Chris, it's a roller coaster." And of course, I'm driving along, and silly me, I look out the window. Just at that instant, all the traffic comes to a dead stop. It's an ocean of red lights in front of me, and I slammed on the brakes, and I come screeching to a stop, inches from the bumper in front of me, avoiding the collision. However, there's a lesson here. I started talking to Toby about the fact that when I'm driving, I have to pay attention to the street in front of me. I can't be looking at window boxes or at amusement parks at the side of the road. I have to be paying attention. We continued this conversation all the way home and on into the house, and we started realizing that Toby does things differently than I do. More importantly, it's prioritization. In prioritizing, I was amazed to find out that there was a deeper rift between how she prioritizes things versus how I prioritize things. She shared with me a story about when she was in college. Her professor had assigned a topic to the class where she was expected to go and prioritize a bunch of tasks within a larger project. And she took all of her tasks and she went home and did her homework, and she brought it back and delivered it to her professor, only to find out that everything that she prioritized had an A1, that everything was equally important as everything else. This image came to mind, something like this. In my mind, this is a sphere. It's just this chaotic jumble of A1s swirling around each other. And to me, this is overwhelming. I can't comprehend prioritizing anything, but Toby's attention is here in the center. It's like a gravitational force that keeps all of these A1s whirling around her so that she can pay attention to all of them all at the same time. I don't understand how anybody could ever possibly be able to focus on that many things all at once. Toby does it effectively. If I were to be doing the same thing, I'd feel like I was looking at a whole herd of gazelle, and I'm a lion at the edge of this herd, looking at all of these gazelle whirling around in this massive horns and hooves. And as long as I'm paying attention to that sickly gazelle, then I do just fine. I can pay attention to it and I have focus on it like a laser beam on its target. But for the very moment that I just gaze off to the side and I see the rest of those gazelle, the chances of me finding that particular gazelle again in the future, it's gone. I just can't see it again. When I prioritize, I start off similarly with this whirling, massive, chaotic A1s. But almost instantaneously, I settle on the #1 priority. It becomes my apex of a pyramid. The top of my pyramid is what I focus on. As I'm focused on this, I tend to make this a very solid form. It doesn't move around. There isn't anything confusing about it. The apex is the most important thing for me to look at. The rest of the tiers below it, they also don't move around, but they're also secondary. I'm always focused on that. the rest of the items that are below are also focused on the apex at the top. When we're delegating, we do similarly. When I delegate, I need 50 construction workers, and this is where I shine. I can teach each one of those construction workers how to accomplish their individual tasks. And in the process of that, my pyramid comes to a strong form and gets completed all at the same time. I'd never be able to complete a pyramid if I were to try to look at this whirling mass. I tend to think all of my guys probably wouldn't either. In the end, I realize that I am a pyramid. Toby is a sphere. And it makes me wonder if maybe this is a gender thing. That maybe all men are pyramids, and maybe all women are spheres. Which are you?